Let's head across to Neeraj to find out how exactly the closing is panning out. And Neeraj, heightened volatile day today, but we're still closing in the green.
Yeah, which is actually good news. The Nifty actually recovered quite a bit, 0.5% from the lows of the day. The Nifty Bank too playing some part there, but you would have to say that some of the non-banking names played a part. The likes of BPCL, the likes of Infosys, the metal names that all our guests were talking about have all played a part here. The mid caps and the small caps, unfortunately, while we talk about a recovery in the large caps, these haven't been quite able to get the tail up. So the small cap end as well as the mid cap end of the market clearly facing some music in today's session. What about the winners and losers? As I was saying, well, surprise, surprise, the top gainer is ICICI Bank on the Sensex. On the Nifty, a couple of other names also pile on, the likes of BPCL, etc. Infosys has had some gains. ONGC, Power Grid amongst the names. Heavyweights include an HDFC and ITC, which are trading in the green. Now bring the camera down and you will see the losers here. Hero MotoCorp, Bharti, Tata Steel, L&T, and on the Nifty you would have Indiabulls Housing Finance. So those are 4 or 5 names. But the pain is not really here as far as the red goes. The index is doing okay. The broader end of the spectrum has more pain as far as losers go. And quite a few losers in the session.
That's right, Neeraj. In fact, the broader market, now today is the second straight day that they've underperformed, but I have to start off with Punjab National Bank, and that's the stock which has seen sharp correction in the last 2 trading sessions, and today it closed almost at day's low levels, so that's not a great sign when a stock actually closes around the day's low. 13% cut coming in for Punjab National Bank. The other one which was weak in today's session was Motherson Sumi. That counter saw some bit of profit booking coming in. It saw cuts of nearly 4% in today's session, and again from the same pack, Bank of Baroda, the PSU banking space, everything was down, and in fact Bank of Baroda was the other one after Punjab National Bank which saw sharper cuts coming about. Well, bucking the trend from the broader markets, TTK Healthcare, this counter was locked in upper circuit with gains of 20%, and it's up 40% for this week. Remember, the numbers had come in on2nd February, and the earnings were pretty strong, so this counter is doing pretty well. ATF Foods is the other one which saw strong gains of nearly 7 to 8% towards the closing session. An 8th straight day for Bombay Dyeing, so that counter has been registering strong gains in today's session. Bombay Dyeing finally closing around the day's high mark of almost 8%. Shree Cement was also up and about, some bit of strength seen after the news came in that the company has commissioned its grinding unit of 3.7 million ton. On back of that spike came about, and couple of earnings reaction, weak set of earnings coming in from Jet Airways and also Repco Home, and clearly the stock reacted negatively to both these earnings, and very strong set of numbers coming in from Nestle. Good performance with regard to volume growth. The gross profit margins also for the quarter saw a healthy jump, Neeraj.
So all in all, not a bad last half an hour of trade, but if you look at one, India VIX, I don't know if you already spotted that, and 2, the volumes for today's session and the FNO volumes would have picked up because of the weekly expiry. This is India VIX, and it's had a volatile 45 minutes of trade. Oops, the chart went away. Nevertheless, as I was saying, the FNO turnover, Navneet, not surprised that it's high, but it's fairly high. Nowadays, the 10 lakh crore mark has become passé. We tend to clock in much higher numbers as well. So that is 2. And the contributors list will show you that I don't know if the metals feature among the top contributors because they're not heavyweights. And which is why Vedanta is at number 4. The heavyweights right up there, HDFC and ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank a clear surprise there. Not too many losers. That helps the index in today's session. Sadly, it doesn't help the broader end of the spectrum.
That's right, and Neeraj, had it not been for ICICI Bank, which showed a bit of strength, I guess Bank Nifty would have seen sharper cuts because that's a heavy weight if you look at both Nifty as well as Bank Nifty.
That's true. Anyways, final thoughts from all our experts. Mayuresh, to you first. In the buy mode or on the sidelines mode currently? I mean, what should an average retail investor do?
No, so to a large bit, Neeraj, I think some accumulations at every decline is something that can get mandated for good qualitative large and mid caps is what I've always maintained. Having said that, I think whole-time transformers is something that I'll still continue to like on any decline. Very good set of numbers in terms of the top line performance. The EBITDA margin at 11.7%. compared to 6.7 and 9.5 on a quarter-on-quarter and year-on-year really did surprise in terms of the operating performance, and even in terms of profitability. The 23.5 crores that it posted compared to 15.3, both on a YoY and quarter-on-quarter basis, is showing signs of stability within this sector itself. So a lot of players who had got in over the last 3 to 4 years probably have started going out, and a large chunk of meteor orders have started flowing into the likes of old-time transformers. Again, very, very strong balance sheet and expectations of rebound in return ratios, specifically return on capital employed, not ruled out. The other stock which again stays on my radar is Endurance Technologies. This is something that I've liked. Very good set of numbers. And going ahead, again, I think the cash flows are expected to improve significantly over the next few quarters, giving the balance sheet the edge that it probably requires compared to other auto ag companies. What it also does in terms of addition of new clients and the leverage that it can create in terms of the earnings profile can be quite substantial. So Endurance is also something that I'll continue to pursue in a staggered way of declines over the next few weeks.
Okay. Vishwesh, if there is a pullback in tomorrow's session, or let's say if we get a gap up opening, considering the cues in the global markets are positive, will you use that as an opportunity to short the index?
No, Navneet. I think on the other hand, I would rather think of buying. My guess is that somewhere what you made a low, on the 6th Feb, and after that you are consolidating, in that range only. And my guess is that now, as long as we don't give a close below 10,400, rather I would, think of buying it. Right now, I'm reading the whole mess as the, sort of a, outsider, without, getting influenced by this, only particular sector, which is, PSU Bank. So if you try to isolate from, PSU Bank and focus large on the market, I think that the stocks which you are ready to buy, a couple of months back, 20-30% higher, are reasonably available right now with the whatever liquidity you want. So why not consider it? At the same time, the global risk somewhere may be, tipping off, in my opinion. So right now, the only risk which I am able to see is that if Dow Jones, or for that matter S&P, start breaking its lows what it made previous week, that is the only thing. Otherwise, our market are very much into this shape, and until the expiry, I don't see 10,300 going broken on the downside.
Okay. And Mr. Hariyar, closing thoughts from you?
See, my suggestion is, if you're brave, if you're holding par, then I think PNB could be a good buy at these levels. But otherwise, if you're a trader, I would say stay off banks, both private and public sector. I think metals, in my view, is a good place where you can actually play on the long side. The momentum is there. I think the fundamental story is there, and even the buying interest is there. So I think that is the sector I would suggest you should be on the long side.
All right, gentlemen, Vishwesh, Mr. Hariyar, as well as Mayuresh, thanks a lot for joining us today and taking us through your views on the market.